I know many people have been, I don't know whether struggling, but finding different ways, techniques on writing books and publishing books. I've been receiving some of the comments or questions, and one of the things which I have to address today or respond today is someone when he was asking me, how do you come with the idea of writing certain kind of book? Why do you want to write a book maybe about this topic, later this topic? How do you think about it? How do you deduce it to come, okay, this will be the next book and it will be on this particular topic? So, this is the topic today, is where do I get my ideas on writing certain kind of books? Because I'm saying I'm planning to write 100 books in the next 30 years. How will I get the ideas, energy, like where, okay, today will be topic A, next topic, because those are 100 books are so many things, like how do I go to prioritize getting this will be the idea, this will be a good thing for writing a book. So this is today's topic about that particular way on how I get my ideas, and I decided this will be a good thing to put as a book and this is not. So welcome everyone to the EBM Scholars Show. This is Ernest as usual. I'm on my channel here, but before I start, for those who do not know, I'm a book writer, author of 20 books so far, and I'm going to be planning to write 100 books. So this December, I'm going to write my 11th book, which will be this book at the end here, PhD Scholarships for Africans in the United States of America. The book will be coming out on December 23rd, 2019. So I've written other books. So let me give some of my books first of all and how the ideas decided to come. This is the only Swahili book I've written so far. It's called Udhamini Ughaibuni. For those who do not know, Swahili Udhamini means it's scholarship or financial support. So it's about a scholarship book, but in a Swahili book. This is called the True Memoirs of the Scholarship Guy. Is my how I got to scholarship in a simple way. So it's a scholarship book. This is called the Albino Killings in Tanzania, Witchcraft and Racism. Is part of my research for my master's degree. This one is letters to my unborn daughter, Faustina Marie. This is A Loving Father. It's a collection of letters I've been writing to my son. This is a collection of letters I've been writing to my daughter, Crea Francisca. The title is Crea Francisca, the Happiest Girl on Earth. So these are some of the books. Other books which I don't have here is just like Imperialism 2.0, Why Africa. I've written about letters to EBM, just a self-letter to writing to myself. So I've so many books I've been able to write. So how do I come with these kind of ideas? Number one, I had to create overall what is my writing style, what kind of content I prefer to write, the category, the genre I like to write. Am I going to be writing poetry? Am I a person writing non-fiction? Am I going to write fiction? So that is overall I had to categorize myself. So for myself, I put myself, I'm writing non-fiction. That's number one. I don't know, down the road I might write fiction. I don't know. But at the moment, my focus is writing non-fiction books to start with. Secondly, I came from non-fiction, then I put a subcategory. My books are not supposed to be, most of my books will be things related to myself, to me. Things I know about, things I can be able to defend on my own without going to find a theory from Karl Marx, a theory from so and so. I don't need to go to do a research on big books. I can write it from my head. That is the books I've been focusing at the moment. My personal life experience. For instance, True Memoirs of the Scholarship Guy, I'm explaining what I did how I applied each university and got a scholarship. What happened when I applied 25 universities? What happened when I got a rejection letter? How did I do the English proficiency test? How did I do GRE? Things of that nature are the things I'm writing. So you cannot come here to say this is not true because this is what I did. So whether it's right, whether it's wrong is what I did. This is what I went through. Is a true memoirs, is my journey. I own this experience. So that is number one. So these are the books I'm doing. For instance, I'm writing this. I wrote this book. I wrote this book. These are letters I'm writing to my kids. I love you because 1, 2, 3. This is your birthday. Just my birthday wishes. I'm writing to my children. So how are you going to compete with that? Right? I don't need to go in the library to find a reference to say I love you, my wife. I don't need to have that reference. You see? So the things I can give advice to my children, I advise what I want them to do, what do I want them to become in the future. I don't need to go to do a research about that. That is not about maybe things about Newton laws of motion or something like that. I don't need to prove something to be valid. It's something coming from my heart. I can put it that way. So that is one of the ways I do. I wrote the book about US election, presidential election. The book is called It Was Not Russia. The book was not about the theory of political science, though I studied political science. But the book was more about my experience as a voter in the United States presidential election. Me as a voter, what did I see? How did I perceive the two candidates? So it was not about a theory in political science. It was me as a voter. What is my perspective? What is my understanding about these two candidates? It was not about to go to argue with any political science theory. So I don't need to go. I can write the entire book without even citing anybody. And that's okay. I'm going to write a book about what it takes to win a green card lottery. This book, I don't need to go to the library to research because these are the things I've been searching and explaining to my videos, answering people's questions. To tell you the photo needs to have white background, I don't need to go to the library to research that anymore. I know that. Make sure you use the current address where you live. So there are things I know for sure. But I will get some resources. I can go to read a few things just like that. I'm going to write about my YouTube blueprint. How I plan to grow my channel to 500,000 subscribers. That is the plan I'm going to do. So that plan I decided to make as a book. So what I'm planning to do, I said I will be uploading 1,000 videos per year. I'm going to write on my book. I will be making sure that every single video I'm putting a thumbnail, I'm going to put that in my book. I'm going to put that, I'll be putting the end cards, whatever. I'm making sure that I'm going to use a little bit of more lights. Like I changed my background from the background which is the other side, which was white background, to this one, which is a different one. It's just how I'm going to renovate myself. So everything I'm doing on YouTube, I'm going to put on this one. So I don't need to go and validate myself from how about authors on YouTube, what are they saying? No, I'm going to put what I'm doing in order to increase my numbers. So that is something I'm going to do. So most of my books is things I've been doing, or I'm planning to do, or I've done, or they are related to me in one way or another. There is a book I'll be writing that says why I didn't become a teacher. The book is trying to explain, for me, I was good at teaching. I even taught after school programs, but when the time to go to the university, I didn't go to study education. I studied political science. Why I didn't study education while I'm good at teaching? So I will explain about the culture, the environment, the perception of teachers in my home country, or even here in the US. How does that decision affected me to study things which maybe I'm not good at, maybe I could be a good teacher. Things of that nature. And that way will help someone else who wants to become or not to become a teacher. When you are going to choose your career, why you want to choose that career, that is the book. So my reason of why I didn't become a teacher, they're not about your reason why you didn't become a teacher. We have two different reasons or two different experiences. So that is another book I'll be writing. I have another book which is, I mean, it's just like, I have so many books. I've already put some book titles already. So all those things are ideas. I have someone who wrote this book. It's called The Book of Totally Useless Information. Over 200 explanations for the not so important questions in life. I have another book which is called Questions I've Been Asked in the past 10 years. So the questions people have been asking, I'm going to answer all the questions. It's a book. I have a book about weight loss, how I lost weight, what I did to lose weight. I've been about cooking without oil. I'm going to make a cookbook about that is not torture. It's a cookbook. So I'm going to put the things which are related to my life in most cases. So this book, for instance, this person is answering questions. Why did the ESO change its name to Exxon? So it's just asking that way. Was there ever a real Anti-Jemima, whatever? So it's just asking questions and answering the questions. Why does extreme hot or extreme cold water sometimes feel the same? The Georgetown University basketball team is known as the Hoyas, whatever. What is the Hoya? So it's just answering the questions. If you touch a piece of wood and a piece of metal, why does the metal always feel colder if both are the same temperature? It's just like a list of unnecessary information, but why do this one? Why does scratching an itch make it feel better? It's just like, you can do this using Google search. Why does the elephant and donkey represent Republican and Democratic parties? It's just... Why does the left-handed pitcher known as Southpaw? Why is the sky blue? So this is just one of the kind of the book someone wrote. This is Chimamanda's book. It's a very tiny book. It's just a letter. Dear Ijiawere, someone wrote a question, is a friend, like, can you advise me how can I raise my daughter to be a strong woman? Oh, these are the suggestions, then turn to be a book. So there are so many ways you can turn to be a book depending on what is your style of writing. So you have to know your style first of all. And for me, I'm not writing these books so that I can become New York bestseller, so that I can become a rich millionaire writing these books. I'm writing these books so that to leave a legacy to my kids. When my kids want to write books, it will be easier for them because, oh, my father used to be an author. When they want to tell the story about me, they can see from my books and talk to their kids. And these words will continue to be there because they are written. So those are some of the things on how I come up with ideas. So if I want to do something, I find a way on how I can turn it to be a book. So, what is your style? If you want to write a book, what do you consider? Technique to come, okay, this is a worthy idea. I can make it as a book. So there are so many things you can go about and just try to do some sort of writing. But if you are writing for money, sometimes it will be very challenging and to make sure that you make a bestseller. And so I don't have that pressure of making a bestseller. I'm just making a book. I'm writing a book for my family. I'm writing a book for my kids, my grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren. Maybe I might not see them, but they will read this book. Oh, man, our great-grandfather, he used to be like you are, writing these kind of things. These are good. You see? So those are the things why I'm writing these books. They're not bestsellers, they're just books. Yeah. I don't know what is your technique if you're a book writer. I came to America, I wrote my book, how I came to America. Simple like that. If I want to do something else, I'm just going to write a book. So there are still so many topics to write. I have a book already titled My Life at the Hill. University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, we consider you call it at the Hill in Mlimani. So I want to just express my life experience while I was at the college level back in Tanzania. Just short book. If someone else has a different experience, can write the book too. So those are the things, like how I get my ideas to write books. Some people get motivation on so many areas, so many angles. With this advice I'm writing to my kids, whatever. So someone already advised to me, which I'll be working on, is to write a short book about advising children. So illustrated book, like a story, inspirational book for kids. Just bedtime stories book. I'll make that book. So sometimes you get suggestion from people, you use them, you just put it there. Becomes a book. For instance, there are so many books, like English books. The first 20 words of a child. Ball, daddy, mom, whatever, those simple words. I can write that book in Swahili, the first 20 words for a child. Baba, mama, dada, kaka. Whatever, simple words, I can use those one. Safari, samaki, whatever. I can put those words, books, so I'll be able to use those words. I used to be a teacher. I can put a simple book about how to learn Swahili. I'm teaching my kids Swahili. I can use the simple way, teaching Swahili to our kids. I can do gardening, how I'm doing my gardening. Whatever. How I failed on mathematics. Why I failed mathematics, got F. These are the ways I did to do fail in math. And so don't do this, you can fail too. So you can do so many things to get topics. For me, I like, for instance, between Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, both the very fantastic, best players we have ever seen in our generation. But I like more Cristiano Ronaldo because of the hard-working part. So instead of coming and arguing with you about Cristiano is better than Messi or Messi is better than Ronaldo, I can write the book about who is better. For instance, we have discussion, oh, Africa will be developing, Africa is the future, Africa is not, we are still colonized. Instead of arguing with you, I went to write a book, Imperialism 2.0, and why I see Africa is not developing because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my opinion. So it's an opinion book about development in Africa. Simple. So I don't need to argue with anybody, I just argue by writing. That's me. That's my new style. That's how I get to write my books. Yeah. Instead of just telling my wife, oh, I love you so much, thank you for this one, I'm writing a letter. I'm writing a book to her. I'm writing a letter. I'm writing a book to my children. Simple way. Instead of going to buy a card and get the card someone write, I'm writing myself everything I want to tell my kids. Boom, a book. So find what works for you. If you're a fiction person, how do you get ideas of fiction? For me, I'm a non-fiction person, so this is how I roll around, how I get ideas, and how I come to write the book. So let me end up here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you everyone for your continued support to my channel, continued support for watching videos, liking the videos, putting the comments here, by being a subscriber here, by sharing this video to other people. I really appreciate that one. So if you want to write a book and you struggle in one way or another and you want my help, whether it be book cover, how to upload the book on Amazon, whatever, how I do everything I'm telling you is free, just put the comment, put a question here, put your email here. I'll just email you or I'll go back to respond to your comment. So thank you everyone and goodbye everyone. Happy holidays everyone.